I don't know. I don't know. How long? I was just talking to myself at my screen. How long was I not? How long did that even go? 20 minutes? Was it 20 minutes? I don't even remember. Oh my God. That's really frustrating. Oh my God. How do I recover from that? I don't even know who was there and how much of what I said actually what got broadcast. Oh my God, that was embarrassing. Hang on a minute. Don't mind me. I'm going to try and Jesus, hang on. Wow. Okay, just bear with me for a minute. Um, I need to like reshare stuff. Make sure that I'm actually. Wow, that's so frustrating. Just sitting here silently, being so mad that Twitch just decided to shut me off mid story. And I got all wound up and ready to talk about shit and actually picked a topic and even had some deep thoughts about it. And I lost all of it. I have no idea what was and wasn't recorded. I'm gonna have to check and see um if the YouTube video also is running or not. Dang it, I'm so mad. Dang it, I'm so mad. If there was anybody who was actually there for the whole first part of my yapping, please let me know what the last thing you heard me say was so that I can maybe pick up where I left off. But if not, that's fine. I will loop back and pick up where I left off mentally, but maybe with a little bit of prerequisite to get everybody back on the same fucking page as me. Dang it. I should have been paying better attention. I am so mad! I'm mad as hell, dang it. You had a lot of good shit I was saying. Damn it. Ugh. Motherfucker. I was talking about work experience and I lost track of that thought and went off in a direction. Um, Thank you for not telling me, Z. Please give yourself a shout out, by the way. You said rip, and I was like, what the fuck was that? I thought you were referencing what I was actually talking about. Because I was saying something that deserved a rip, man. Boo. Boo and also hiss. Motherfucker. Nope. I didn't see anything on Discord, buddy. I did not see where would it have been. Nowhere that I can see. That's fine. It's fine. I'm used to yapping out loud for no reason to myself half the time. Everything's cool. Dang it. Fuck. Okay. I'm just gonna back way the fuck back. You're right. You are correct. I'm just gonna go all the way back and maybe since I properly yapped it all out beforehand, I can actually, string together a fucking cogent thought. Wouldn't that be swell? Don't be mean to me. Don't be mean to me. Come on. I am better than that. Yeah, I don't even know. I would like to have utilized my fucking resources a little bit better and like had my shit ready to go rather than just sitting here being like, oh, it's fine. The people who follow me on my channel, they're gonna get the email notifications. But you know what? Here's the thing. I follow a lot of streamers, and some of them I will happily tune into their shit every single time I see them live. Every single time because I love them and I want to support their work and I want them to love me back in some cases. And like I had said at the beginning of everything, it's really important to me to support the streaming community as a whole. I know that there are a lot of people you can't go into their channel while they're live and say, "Hey, I stream too, and it's so nice to see somebody who also streams about this topic." Some people are like, "Oh, that's so cool. Let me follow you back." Some people are like, "Banned immediately," and I'm always like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, you have probably close to 5 times more people even aware of who you are and that you exist. I am like a drop in the ocean of your content. You can't be nice to me? Bro, what is that about? And now it's going to be 90 seconds where people who may or may not actually follow me and subscribe to me, and they're going to have ads, and that's fun. I hate this stupid fucking website. Jesus. Dang it. So anybody who's watching the VOD after it's been put up and stuff, I don't know if ads are still part of the VOD or not, to be perfectly honest. I don't watch a whole lot of VODs. I probably should. It's still support, right? They still get shit attached to that, I'm assuming. I'm assuming. But if there isn't and you can see this part, hi. My name is Wayward Bard. I go by Bard. I go by Bee. I go by Birdie. I go by a lot of things. If you know my legal name, no, you don't. We don't use my government name online. If I ever end up actually producing anything that, has my legal name attached to it, then we'll address that when it happens. If and when it happens. Maybe someday I put a pseudonym on all my shit so that people don't know where I live. Who knows? I am mostly a reading streamer, but I also variety game and other stuff when I actually have a computer that is mine and that I can run it and that it'll actually pick up on screen. Because as it is right now, I can't run OBS on a laptop. The laptop freaks the fuck out. I drop frames all over the place. I might as well be a fucking robot. Welcome back from the ads. If you didn't miss much, I was continuing to yap the entire time. Um, I read, I game, I pomo. I've tried a few games on stream now. Last time I streamed to see if I could run them without my laptop exploding and in a way that people can actually see what the fuck is on the screen. So that's good. I'm going to be able to do those more, which means that I'll have a slightly more variety to my streams now and not just be reading in this little white box of a room. I haven't decorated it at all because most of my stuff is still in storage after 2 years of practically living out of a suitcase. I'm not mad about it. Why would you ask me that? So, my schedule has been a little all over the place because the last couple of weeks slash months, job stuff has been kind of all over the fucking place. Um, Work has been crazy insofar as I had a job, I lost a job, I had a job, I lost a job. I got a job, the hours got reduced. I only had that job. It fucking sucked. I had to ask people for money. I didn't like doing that. I don't think I'll ever be able to pay them back. That's how bridges get burned if people think you're an asshole because you only talk to them when you want money. Um, I've had a lot of emotional shit happening. I've gone through a couple different med changes. I started taking testosterone, so I'm postmenopausal and I'm also having um, second puberty. I'm breaking the fuck out still. I'm putting medication on my face to try and fix that. I don't know if it's working. 3 black hairs, count them, 3 whole black hairs have decided that my mole that I've had my whole ass life and has been a thing on my face, inescapable, are prime real estate. And I need to find a pair of tweezers and I need to have them just on my person at all times because like I plucked them one day because I saw them and I freaked the fuck out and I swear to God, 2 days later they were back with enforcements. It's bullshit. I hate it. I would not recommend. Um, I don't necessarily care that I'm developing darker hair on my face, on my arms, on my legs. It doesn't bother me. But if I start looking like my male progenitor, I may very well jump off a cliff. That is not a joke. Take care of yourselves, everybody. Make peace with your lives. Anyway, work stuff has been fucking crazy. I've been going through a lot of med changes. I've also had a lot of different stuff happen with my living situation. That has also changed a lot in the shorter period of time where actual organization was happening. My spouse has been struggling through some shit also and has not been managing it well. And I'm drowning under the weight of 2 people in addition to everything else that's been going on. It's not fun. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm still here trying though. But with work schedule stuff, I think I've gotten to a place where I have an idea what my schedule is going to be like. I'm not going to lock anything in on Twitch yet because I really genuinely not 100% sure yet. So it'll be a little loosey-goosey. But that being said, I'm really going to fucking try to be somewhat regular and maybe announce things beforehand. Like maybe if I can, if I have a schedule that I know is going to be out, I can kind of modify it to that rather than have a set schedule. I hate not having a set schedule for a couple reasons. One, routine is kind of important now that I've figured out some stuff about myself. Two, people can depend on that schedule and know how to build around it and work around it. And that's nice too. If you're on regularly, you develop an audience, people who come back and see you for more stuff. And if you're not on regularly and your schedule is all over the fucking place, that's a little harder to do. I'm hoping that I have a sparkling enough personality that when people suddenly show in and they see me yapping or reading or doing whatever the hell else I'm doing, that they stick around and they wanna get to know me more. And I want to support, like I said, I want to support other streamers. I don't understand why some people get so belligerent about it, but I also don't fucking care because they're not me. And I'm going to keep doing what I do best, which is to take care of mine and make sure that everybody's chill and to make some people laugh on the way because that's what happens when you have major depressive disorder. You know how to mask really well and nobody knows what's coming with you half the time. I'm not actually manic. I'm just really good at acting and masking. Like those are my two favorite. Those are my two very very well developed skills. Is being the funny guy and being the fat friend and um, a person who's just done a lot of stuff and can reference a lot of things. My work career has also been all over the fucking place. I live in a town now in my current stage of life that has college kids and old people. So everything is kind of run by the college, and for the old people, it's ran by the weather. There are extreme weather patterns in the world today. I am at the top northern states of the USA, and it gets fucking cold as shit here. And when it gets fucking cold as shit here, all the old people leave for 3 to 4 months, and that means the town is empty. So doing any sort of service jobs that require people, the hours get cut back or they just don't hire at all. Um, but during the rest of the year, when they are here, if you're not a nurse practitioner, um, there isn't a whole lot of jobs that aren't service jobs that require hours of standing and smelling like fucking food grease forever afterward. I haven't been able to really get in on a lot of jobs that I could do because the people who have those jobs cling to them with their entire bodies. So unless somebody hits them with a car on their way home, I probably won't get a position there. So I've been doing my best, trying to do what I can. I have another job now. I have two jobs now. They are both part-time jobs. They kind of get me closer to having a livable wage. Bravo, right? Um, Part of the reason that I got the second job was because the first job only gave me 12 hours a week. That's not enough to live on as a single human being. Um, and then I had to take care of my spouse on top of that because of a lot of fucking reasons. So many fucking reasons. I don't want to get into them all. But one of the biggest ones was that she broke her leg when we first got here, her ankle to be more specific. So she was laid up the whole winter. And then she was in physical therapy after that, still healing. Because when you break your fucking ankle, shit gets hard. Standing is hard, walking is hard, standing for long periods of time is hard. Relearning how to hold your body weight is hard. Um, my spouse is also not a small person, so that's been a challenge. She tried to get a job in a field that she was very familiar with doing and could not do it because it hurt too much to just stand. I also have a lot of pain-related stuff wrong with me. I have fibromyalgia. I learned through some of my recent diagnoses that I have pretty moderate arthritis. I didn't expect to be having arthritis yet. That was a shocker. I have chronic venous insufficiency, which means my blood flow in my legs is really shitty. So that kind of limits the kind of work I can do. I wasn't really hopeful. I wasn't really looking forward to having to work a service job again, so I was very selective about what I chose. So one of the two jobs I have is a service job. I work in a fast casual restaurant now. But at the same time, it's run by a pretty small but dedicated group of neurospicy people, and I feel like I'm going to get along just fine. My interview was more of a yap than an actual interview, and she pretty much hired me on the spot, which was great. Because the other job that I got hired on the spot for, which was at the front desk at a hotel, I worked for 3 training days. Apparently, they still hired an additional person, even though they didn't need to. They decided they liked that person better slash more than me, and they let me go. I would live in a right to work state. They could have fired me because they didn't like my shoes. I would never know why, and I never will. And as a neurodivergent person who's undiagnosed, probably on the spectrum, that will drive me crazy. I will spend the rest of my life always wondering what the fuck I did or didn't do. Um, I'm a little agitated. I apologize. I should dial that back just a little tiny bit. I don't want people to come in here and think that I'm just here to rant and rave. I'm here to be chill and have a good time. I don't know what my schedule is really going to be like with the new job. Um, I am going to be scheduled 3 weeks out, so I'll have an idea what that time will look like. It might not always be the same shifts. I might work Monday and Tuesday one week. I may work Wednesday and Friday the next week. So I can't give a dedicated stream schedule, which I don't like for reasons I've already discussed. But that's fine. I will make sure to make more announcements, and I'll try really hard to lock in on that schedule and not be like, oh, I'm hurting too much today, I'm going to pass. I will just stream for less time on those days rather than pull back entirely and just not do anything because I can't expect people to want to keep coming back and watching me yap if I can't even come and yap consistently every week. So forgive me. And if you're still around, awesome. Please stay. Please stay. Um, I have some things I want to do in the near future, things I want to create, things I want to practice doing more on stream and yapping while I do it. I have a bunch of art supplies, specifically fiber work, like sewing and knitting and crochet and weaving. I have a speed loom. I can start darning fucking socks and holes and shit. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do with that. That could be fun. Yeah, I don't have an overhead camera, but maybe I will someday in the near future if that ends up working out. My computer has been in storage for a couple years now. Um, I don't know how operable it will be in terms of any new content, like game wise. If my game card needs to be, my card needs to be updated, if my RAM needs to be updated, all that shit. I have no idea yet. I won't know until it's in front of me again. I know I'm probably going to spend a good week just downloading shit from Windows to update it, just because that's going to take some time. I'm not looking forward to it. It really sucks, but it's what you do when you have older shit. I'm hoping that maybe with the job and with the new living situation, um, I haven't moved, but I have gained additional people. I'm not going to talk about that on stream, partly because they could walk by and hear me talking about it. If you're on the Discord, exclamation point Discord, you can join and you can listen to me bitch and complain there if you feel inclined to do so. But don't feel like you have to. You can just come here and hang out with me, ask me questions in chat, and it's all fine. I love, thank you, Cozy. I love talking at people, talking with people, talking to people. I love making people laugh. I love being relatable. I love teaching shit to people. I don't always know everything about a thing, but I love learning alongside other people. It's kind of my whole vibe. I need to work on my verbal pauses because I'm saying a lot, and I have taken classes on how to be a better speaker, and it's been over a decade since I've taken those classes, and I hate to say that out loud. So, what I was talking about before Stream decided to just fail on me and not notify me about it, thank you, Twitch, was about this piece of media that I was recently exposed to, that I looked for, to be more specific. I was watching I was in Fadelay. Every time the link is in chat, I see Cozy first, and never Chaos, and I'm like, I have a cult, buddy. You kind of do. You play Cult of the Lamb, you know. So in that way, yes, you do have a cult. But collectively, we also kind of have a cult. It's a very small cult, though. We need to work on recruitment, at least collectively. And I know, before you even say it, I know. We need to sit down and I need to add, shut up. We need to sit down and I need to give you a bunch of people to add to the broadcast list because there are people who I love, who I would like to support more, that I haven't really been adding to that list. A couple people have made it onto that list because I've exposed you to them and you like them, and I'm so glad that we have great taste, mutually great taste. I've also started watching a bunch of people that you've come to watch, and some of the people that you've come to watch, you watched because I was your mod. You watched because I was your mod, and I directed the raid. And I love doing that. I love all of us becoming an awesome group of people. I love seeing the overlap. It's so nice. It's so nice when people that I know get to know other people and everybody vibes. That is the biggest compliment I can ever receive. It is what, hi darling, how are you? Can you give a shout to Bard Brews, please? Bard and Brews. Another Bard. I collect those. I've found a couple of them. They're all lovely. I love them all. Thank you for coming in. Even if you don't chat, you know that you can whenever you want. You're just going to listen to me yap about nothing and everything for a little while. I haven't decided yet what I want to talk about. I got a couple of things that have been itching around in my brain that I would like to talk more about. So coming back to this medium, I was in Faye Delay's stream a few days ago. I want to say probably last week specifically. Um, Faye Delay is lovely, darling, wonderful, funny, excellent. Lives in the Pacific Northwest. Lives in basically what used to be my neighborhood. So when she talks about the area, I'm just thrilled. It makes me so happy that I can hear about all these things and all these activities that she does, and it's kind of like living vicariously through her. And she is a lovely human. I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend Faye Delay. If you like my nonsense, you will love Faye Delay. So I'm going to shout her out too, if I can get it to work properly. Hopefully it worked. Hopefully it worked. Did it work? No, it didn't work. Maybe it worked. I don't fucking know. That's one of the downsides to this web app. It kind of works and kind of doesn't work. So I'm gonna try it again. 1 second. So I was in phase. There it goes. I was in phase stream, and they were talking about something or other, and their music was playing in the background. And Vienna Tang, who is one of my all-time favorite musicians, songwriters, composers, and is also just an all-around amazing human being. Vienna Tang's song came up on her playlist. She skipped it, which I made a comment about because how dare you? Um, she skipped it, but I saw it, and I immediately was like, "Oh, my fave is on the screen. I got to talk about it. My special interest has entered the chat." So I talked about it. I was saying how she had just recently released some new music because I knew that Vienna Tang had released the soundtrack slash OST of the production that she put on. She did a limited run of a musical that she composed, directed, starred in, etc. for the Buddha, a reincarnation of the Buddha. It's called The Fourth Messenger. If you can listen to the soundtrack, you absolutely should. Support my girl. I love her so much. If you can find a bootleg, you should absolutely watch it and then immediately go and spend, the equivalent price on what would have been a ticket to her broadcast or to her production. Because again, support artists. Support non-generative AI artists who are amazing and incredible and produce just epic shit. Do that. Do that for me. Do that for Vienna Tang. Be a good person. Thank you. She had also released, and this was something I found after going to look, that she had just released some new music. I did this also for Joy Williams. I'll talk about that in a sec. It had just recently been released too, like within maybe a couple months, I think, maybe. She released a limited EP. It's 3 songs. The name of the album is Two Truths. It is a direct pull from a line she heard from another person in a conversation she was having, a man, and she did a whole video on like the production of the EP where she mentions this conversation. The man says, "My wife can hold 2 truths, and I'm so proud of her for that," or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing from what I can remember. But I know specifically what that means, the term holding 2 truths, knowing 2 truths. It's something that's discussed in dialectical behavioral therapy, aka DBT. If you have mental spicy shit going on, you're probably familiar with DBT if you haven't already taken the classes for it. I have. Um, it was a time to say the least. I learned whole bunch about it in the limited time that I was part of that group where I was going regularly while I was participating. It was a struggle at times because whenever you do group therapy, you have to be exposed to other people's really hard shit. And I don't like calling myself an empath. I think that term is fucking bullshit. I won't go into it right now, but if you want me to, I can. But I am a person who cares very deeply about other people. It's partially a programmed response from my upbringing. It's partly out of just this deep feeling of connection to other people. Like I desperately just want to be a person involved in a community that takes care of each other. And usually when you do therapy, like group therapy, there's a certain non-spoken agreement where you kind of need to care at least a little bit about everybody there. Otherwise, you'll hate every fucking moment that you're there. And that's why I avoided group therapy for so long, because I have a lot of shit that I am carrying with me all the time. I am working on it. It is not easy. It has been decades of me fucking working on it, and I'm not done. And I don't think I will be. In the course of my life, I fully expect to still be working on it. And I believe in my heart that people should work on their shit, even if they're not having big emotional feelings. You should still go to therapy at least once. Talk with a professional. Don't just yap at your friends about your bad day, especially if you have more than one in a single week, especially if you have big fucking emotions. Coming back to the original topic, yay, ADHD is fun. Having two truths. So in DBT, from what I'm remembering about my experience with DBT, having two truths is a form of radical acceptance. You can remember an experience, or a person even, where you had good times and you had bad times. And maybe that person is no longer part of your life. Maybe they caused you a lot of trauma and that's why they're not part of your life. And it can be very difficult for a person who's done that, who's had a friend, who's had a loved one, who's been through an experience where they want to remember the good things, and it's really hard to remember the good things and also remember that they cause you pain, and that it's okay to remember the good things, while it's also okay to not let that person, that experience of pain, continue to dominate your brain and your life and your further experiences. That's a really, really hard thing to learn. So hard. And it's so difficult to keep remembering that, especially if you're a person who feels deeply for other people. And that's what it was for me going to DBT. I didn't want to be in group therapy. I have a lot of shit. I care about everybody around me until they piss me off to the point where I stop caring. And even then, in order to be pissed off, this is something that I've learned. It sucks that I know it now. In order to be really genuinely pissed off, you kind of have to still care. You can say I don't fucking care. I hate that person, whatever. But they still kind of still live with you in some way. And it's really hard to let them go. And that's what having two truths can do to help you reframe that experience, those people. Yes, this thing caused me harm. I can remember the good things, and I can not go back and let the bad things continue to happen to me. Some people actually are worth giving second chances to and rebuilding relationships and trust, even though they did a terrible thing or they behaved in a terrible way. Some people can't. They have their own shit that they won't heal from, they won't learn to be better, and you have to ultimately let that go. But again, it stays with you. Every single person who has interacted with you over the course of your life, however big, however small, they've affected you in some way. And it's the ones that deeply affect you that stay with you all the time. Maybe they change your worldview. Maybe they change how you interface with other people after that. Maybe you have this like low-key anxiety, fear all the time interacting with people because you're just so worried that that might happen again, that you accidentally let it happen again, that you could have controlled that thing and it didn't work out. That's something that me as a person with depression and anxiety, I deal with fucking every single goddamn day. It is not fun. And I can't let it dominate my thoughts all the time. And that was something that was really amazing about that phrase that Vienna Tang heard, and the fact that she took that phrase and she made it into music. Really excellent, beautiful music. The idea about the EP, I don't want to play it on stream because I worry that I could get a copyright strike. I could perform it, and I might in the future. I don't want to sing it a cappella because I know I won't be able to capture it properly. So please, if you have the opportunity to listen to Vienna Tang's EP that she just recently released, it's called Two Truths. I strongly recommend you listen to it. However, I do want to add the caveat, please make sure that you have tissues nearby because you will probably fucking cry if you have a heart at all. So, there are #3. There's a fucking ad, god damn it. Stick around. I will come back to this and repeat everything quickly. If you're not already subscribed, I'm not asking you to. Nobody has to subscribe. Please, if the ads are coming up for you, get up, stretch, get some water, kiss your dog, pet your cat, whatever. Thank you. Do those things anyway, even if an ad ends up coming up anyway. Um, Whenever ads come up, do that. I'm going to have a thing eventually when I have OBS back up again. I've seen some really great examples of what to do when the ads come up, and I want to put them into effect. But also, subscribe if you can. If you can't, that's fine too. I don't want to put anybody out, especially if you have a heart. Don't give me money if you if you can't. Don't put yourself in debt for me. Don't put yourself missing a meal because you wanted to give me $5 or whatever the fuck. Don't do that. But also, I have coffee. I have Stream Elements, I'm pretty sure, set up. I have Cash, PayPal, all that other shit. A lot of it has my government name on it. I don't want to pass it out. That's why I always say go to Ko-fi, because that doesn't have my legal name on it. And if you know my legal name, no, you fucking don't. Don't say it in chat and don't bring it up. Call me the things that I like to be called. Birdie, Bard, Bee, that guy over there. They, them pronouns, thank you. Anyway, coming back. Again, ADHD is so fun. Holding two truths isn't always about trauma triggers necessarily, or good and bad. Sometimes two truths is being the strong one, but also being overwhelmed by being the strong one and wishing that you had somebody who could take care of you for a while. You can be strong and also gentle. You can be a person who has the power to go out and act, induce rage in a positive way, to create change in a way that betters everyone. But it can be so exhausting to do that. A lot of people end up going through burnout. A lot of people end up giving up eventually. In some cases, some really amazing, notorious people who have created amazing impact and change have had their lives robbed of them. And you can only think in terms of wow, how much would they have added to the discourse and the betterment of the world altogether if that hadn't happened? Holding two truths. Holding two truths can mean being strong, but also being gentle, being capable of enacting huge, monumental change, but also just wishing that you didn't have to do all of it, that you didn't have to be the one who's always helping other people. Sometimes you just want people to help you, to take care of you, to make sure that you're also safe and loved and cared for and warm. Welcome back from the ads. We were talking about what it means to have two truths and why they relate to life and trauma, and why Vienna Teng is an amazing artist. The two songs in her at the beginning of the EP are Spark and Comfort. The idea behind Spark is it's kind of almost a rally cry sort of song. You could see it in a couple different ways as you're listening to it. It's a person who's doing the work. That's the first line. We've got work to do. And it's true. Every single day is work for a person who wants to make a difference, either in their own life, in the lives of others, in the community at large, in the government, in the world. Every single day is work. You have to do it, and it's hard. And you're the only one who can. You have to take control of your life at the very bare minimum and do the best that you can. And it's hard. And other people see you struggling Other people want to help sometimes. Other people are inspired by you and they go out and they try, but maybe they're not, quote unquote, as strong as you. They haven't developed the hard skin. They haven't developed the bruises and the calluses of having to do the hard shit over and over. And those people can be amazing mentors and coaches and teachers and educators who can really help you become a better person. And that's what the song is about. It's about digging your heels in and doing the work, no matter how hard it is. And sometimes you get angry, and sometimes you feel triumph, and people look to you, and sometimes they say, hey, thank you for all the hard work you do. If it wasn't for you, things wouldn't be the way they are. We've got you, and we've got you. Shit, my whole monitor moved because I fucking hit my desk. The term "we've got you" is a repeating theme, repeating lyric that happens through all of the music that she produced in this EP. So that's the first song. It's the rallying cry song. It's about starting the spark in yourself, in your life, in the lives of others, in whatever thing you choose to do. And it's a great fucking song. It's very empowering and it's very motivating. It's got a really good punchy beat and it's good. It's a good ass song. All of Fiona Ting's music is great, but this song specifically, in the current like political climate and state of the world, it's a great song. I really love it. Comfort is the name of the second song, second track. It's a lot more dialed back. It's a lot softer. It's about the burnout. It's about being overstimulated. It's about feeling like you have nothing keeping you going and it's just too much. And when I listened, and I'm even now, listen to that song second, it's like having like an amazing scoop of ice cream and then somebody comes up behind you and smashes it on the ground. And you kind of look at it on the ground and you're like, fuck, what do I do now? I was really invested in that ice cream and I really want that ice cream and now I don't have it and it sucks. That is like the simplest way I can put it. It's the emotional devastation of having to be the strong one all the time. But the song is called Comfort, and the whole point behind the song is that it's a reminder to herself, to the listener, that there are people who do see you, who do care about you, who want to help, who care enough to take a step forward when you are clearly fucking struggling, and to help you remember that you're not alone. Shit. Excuse me for a second. Um, that you're not alone, that you're not doing this by yourself, that you have people who are in your court and who love you and care about you. And just like the second lyric, we've got you. We've got you. Not just, oh my God, not just that we've got you to look up for and we've got you to depend on and rely on, but we've got you because we're going to take care of you too. On that song, when I heard it, I fucking bawled. I was in the parking lot out of my my DBT, or my physical therapy class, and I was waiting for my ride, and I was listening to it on my earbuds in the middle of the fucking street, and I sobbed so hard. I'm sure people driving by also looked at me and thank you. I'm working on that. Ooh. I'm sure they saw me and they were like, "Are you okay?" But they didn't get out of their cars because I'm a fucking weirdo on the side of the street, sobbing at like nothing to their eyes, nothing. But I think that also reflects like just going out into the world as a whole. You don't know what people are going through, and it's really hard to pass judgment on people without knowing what they're going through. And you should try always, whenever you can, to be kind because kindness costs nothing. And at the same time, it is the most important thing. You can change a person's entire fucking day by just being kind. I will look at them real quick. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Hydrate, posture check, stand, and stretch. I'm going to do all three of those. And I recommend it you all too if you have the ability to do that. I have 2 bottles of water because I wanted to make sure I had enough come down with me. I'm on the bottom floor in my house. It's a bit of a struggle to get up and down the stairs. I have to be careful how much water I drink because if I gotta pee, I've got to go up 2 flights of stairs to get to the toilet. This house is old and it sucks that way. I didn't already have a terrible tendency to be just dehydrated all the fucking time because I'm crying so goddamn much and I'm not drinking enough water. So I'm crying out my liquid reserves. Good job, me. All right, hang on a second. I'm gonna step away so I can stretch and not be self-conscious on the screen. All right. Comfort. Spark and comfort. 2 truths. You can be the strong one and you can be the soft one. And it's okay to be both. You don't have to choose to be one or the other. But it can be hard. Both sides can be hard as fuck to do. Being strong is exhausting. Being fragile is exhausting. You get broken, you get taken advantage of, you get blamed, you get hurt. Um, and both songs act as a way to remind the listener to keep doing them. We've got work to do, and we've got you. And the third track takes both songs and overlaps them because each song individually can be listened to individually, and they're beautiful. I love Vienna Tang's work. She's such a phenomenal artist. Individually, they're amazing songs, but something about putting them together is magical, to put it just plainly and honestly. She made the songs not only individual stand up on their own songs, but they support each other and they harmonize each other and they enforce the same messages to each other and to the listener at the same time. And they make the message of having 2 truths stronger. And being able to hold those things together and independently is such a difficult skill to learn and difficult, even more difficult to master. But sometimes there are moments of clarity where you remember that you can do both, that you can feel both, that you can be both. You can love a memory that's left by a terrible person. You can be you can have a bad day where you're dieting and then you decide to eat a treat and you feel guilt about it, but then you also remember that you fucking earned it. It isn't cheating. It's a treat. You can sometimes hold conflicting views. That can be a challenging one. Um, yeah, like it's possible to do both, be both, experience both, and have them still be true. To still be 2 truths. So, ultimately, end of the day, listen to this music. Vienna Tang, 2 truths, 3 songs, amazing. Um, and to try and take it back, take it back to where I started with it. Spent almost an hour talking about this fucking topic. Um, listening to the music repeatedly, because that's how I kind of do it with my tisms. Um, Overanalyzing it and relating to the content material and thinking about it and maybe wanting to perform it but not really sure how to do it. I'm not as musically um, skilled as I wish I could be. Part of it is because I have a difficulty putting aside my perfectionism. Part of it is because if it starts to hurt, I don't want to do it. Part of it because I'm terrible at maintaining routines and habits, also tied to the tism. So I'm not as musically skilled as I'd like to be. I would love to know how to do multiple instruments. I would love to be able to be better about composing music. I have a lot of like rudimentary skills with these things. Like I can play guitar, I just play it badly. I do have a penny whistle that I play, but I don't practice nearly as much as I could. I haven't learned a new song in a while. I have a really great memory in terms of like musically. I learn by rote really well, and I can memorize really well because I never really learned how to properly read music, like sheet music. So I can learn something in like 3 listens pretty much on point, and I can not only just learn the melody of a song, but I can also learn harmony parts pretty easily, and I can kind of tune in and harmonize really well. Um, but I'm listening to these songs, specifically the last song, and I'm remembering like it's kind of like clicking in my head that it reminds me of a track in like a musical, like a scene in a musical where multiple people are singing about different things, but the songs are all interwoven and overlapping, and they are all kind of relating to each other, and they all kind of tie together with the same centralized theme. I mean, this woman composed and starred in and directed a fucking musical, so surprise, she knows how to do that. But even if she hadn't done that, I mean, she is a musician who's done that kind of work already. So she already had the skills. She just made them even more amazing. I'm listening to this track and I'm thinking to myself, wouldn't it just be incredible to see performed this music performed by a full choir and a full orchestra, or at least a full band, because there's layers of music, there's layers of instruments being played. It is not just piano music, it is not just guitar music, it's not just um, drums. She utilizes quite a few different instruments. She has a proper setup and knows enough other musicians that she's able to pull all these people together and collaborate together. But wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't it be just incredible to see like a full production of this 3-part set where the person the first song, the first scene, the first set is about the first song, Spark. And not only are the choir performing and the band or the orchestra are performing, but there's also a dancing scene happening. Like because it is a song, it's not a acting performance piece. So it makes more sense for there to be like a dance person, somebody who is trained in jazz or ballet or freestyle dance, that kind of stuff, and is able to perform the piece. And then you do the next song, and that person's able to perform that piece. And then you bring the song together for the third act, the third performance, which is the 2 songs overlapping. And you can see, like, I have aphantasia, so I can't actually see it in my mind, but I can kind of like plan it in my mind. I can think the thoughts that aren't quite words on a page. It's so difficult expressing what aphantasia can be like for everybody. And I have a quote unquote intense version of it. Literally, it's all black behind my eyeballs. I cannot visualize or see anything. And some people can see fucking dragons and shit, but I'll come back to that in a minute. I can see slash not see, imagine slash not picture 2 different choreographic pieces that are individually performed, but then are able to come together, and you're able to see them literally piece together like a puzzle. Like the person who's dancing could be dancing with a partner, but that partner doesn't exist. Same with the other person. but when they come together, they're able to perform the piece as a partnership. And maybe there's also a third person, the listener or the outside person who's bringing them together to make them work together, and to remind them that the two truths exist. Maybe that's the third person, is the two truths. And I see it slash not see it, imagine it slash not picture it, how it would all work together. The chorus, the choreography, the band, and how incredible would it be to perform that and not just be a performer and be a person who produces it, but to be a person who gets to experience it and observe it as a viewer, as a listener. My brain is just like bing, 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 bing as I'm thinking about this, as I'm listening to this music. And I shared it a little bit with my spouse, who immediately, because that's what she does, my ears, started to like bring in additional ideas, different perspectives about how we could, in theory, collaborate with other people. Which also made me think about the other projects that I want to do that are collaborative pieces. But then also made me think about an online performer called the Kifness. If you're not familiar with the Kifness, he does music based on like clip videos and stuff. He's very famously known for doing cat videos and dog videos that he turns into whole songs, like actual songs, not just sampling the sounds and using them as an instrument, but also like creating a lyric, not a lyric, a lyrical song. There we go. A lyrical song based on interpretation of the video, whatever the case may be. He does great stuff. I love his work. I as an individual artist, he's great. But during COVID, something really amazing happened online that was very unique. Is probably a good way to put it. Something that hadn't really happened in the same intensity before. Um, since everybody was locked inside, they started consuming more content. They started performing more content, creating more content. Twitch really took off as a platform because of COVID. Uh, Programs like fucking Zoom suddenly exploded and became such bigger things. Like, and it wasn't that these things didn't already exist. They just weren't utilized the same way with such a larger impact, right? So some people actually took that and turned it into performance. Like a person could play the violin part. Like two or three violinists could join together and become a string arrangement. And people would come in with additional instruments. You see stitches on TikTok of this kind of shit happening all the time, where people just add layers to it as it continues to go down the chain. And there was one like whole ass opera that was produced by people who were like recording from their living rooms, either through recording software or on camera, on screen. Kifness did that with one song specifically, um, two different versions of that, where one version was really like jazzy, upbeat and shit, and the other one was a little bit more world music type stuff. I don't want to put a specific label on it, but I think you get the idea. It was very um, neo-modern, if that makes sense. People who are playing guitars and drums and strings and horns and other stuff like that, just layering on top of each other until it became its own whole song with multiple parts attached to it. And it was so cool to watch, like the video developing, like being edited on screen of people dropping in and starting to add their pieces to the song, all the piece all itself. It was so cool. And then my brain was like, "Oh, you know what? That would be really cool also." I can't draw. I'm not that kind of artist either. I just yap, man. That's all I'm really good at. But I can again imagine slash not see, etc., how the choreography would be. And wouldn't it be cool rather than actually get performers to do it, to maybe get an animator to do it. Not AI. Fuck AI. We don't support AI on this fucking channel. But actual art, actual fluid animation of two performers coming together, separating, doing their individual piece, interlocking, that kind of stuff. Like I can see slash not see, like a painting um, figure that's shaped like a person with arms and the legs and the head, but no actual features, like a brushstroke that's doing all of these dances as an animation, and how they maybe one of them is black and the other one is white, and they come together, they become gray where they interlock, or the environment around them changes from black to white to gray, or whatever the case may be. It would be really neat to do that, since like a full production would be difficult to film quite the same. And I've noticed that in actual films too. Like you can do the production, but it's really hard to keep it like where you put the camera on the person's face, on the person's body. Are you bringing the whole thing together in a way that looks really cohesive and able to put all of the good stuff on the screen at a certain time? I think an animation would be a great way to do that rather than filming um, an actual choreographer performer. Both could be done. Mocap exists. I think that would be fucking dope, honestly. But it would be an amazing piece. Well, I want to do it kind of, man. Like I have resources. I could reach out to people. I can't necessarily draw, but I could block things and other people could fucking do that shit and I could bring it all together, and wouldn't it just be so fucking neat? That's the kind of creative shit that keeps me up at night. And my brain just holds it forever and I just keep going with it forever. But I would love to do that. I would love to try and make that happen. And then wouldn't it be so cool if I could have it broadcast? Like put it on and have it actually go live, and it's a recording, but I'm there to chat in chat. And then maybe even afterward doing like a what would you call, like, if the director's commentary or the react video, while I'm playing through it a second time and just talking about the process and communicating with the audience and that sort of stuff. It would be neat. It would be neat. All sides of that would be neat. I am one person. I get these really big ideas and I can't always act on them, and then I get all sad and depressed because I can't make them happen. So I'm gonna try and make this happen in some way, shape, or form. In the same way that I've been meaning to actually write a fucking book for 20 plus years and I still haven't gotten around to doing it yet. Fucking hard, man. Life is hard as fuck. Okay, so what have we talked about? What have we done? What have we actually accomplished? I feel like I've done a lot of monologuing. I haven't done a whole lot of interacting, but at the same time, nobody's really done the conversation part in chat. I keep hoping that'll happen. It doesn't, and I'm not mad about it, but also I just like I'd love to have conversations with people, like dialogues would be cool. Maybe I'll get there eventually. I'd love to hear what people's thoughts and feelings are about it. If you have a chance to actually listen to it and want to, or have listened to it even and want to talk about it in chat, I am here. You don't know what to say. That's fine. I know. It's not 100% relative to your interests, but you're still interested in supporting me and being here and listening and stuff. I should say, in more direct shared interests sort of way, I can play um, some games. I made a post about that in some of the other communities that I'm in. I can't do modded things on this laptop out of respect for my partner, who has asked me not to add those types of things onto the computer. Oh, neat. That's cool. I want to see those when they go up. Make sure to make them something that I can see. Um, I can play games together with other people. I can't necessarily stream them, and I can't necessarily play modded stuff. But if there's any game that I have, that you have, you, the people who are listening, you, the people who are watching, you, the people who know me, um, my handle is always the same, pretty much across the board. If you find Bard, Wayward Bard, the Wayward Bard, if the icon is this one, the bee with the book in the corner, or if it's a cat Yes, Stardew. Exactly Stardew. Um, if you see a bee with a book in the yellow, if you see that icon, or if you see a cat in outer space wearing a astronaut helmet, it's a rainbow scene. That is me. That's me. If you send me a friend request and you tell me you've seen me on Twitch, or you follow me on Discord, or we're in a community together, like a mutual community, and all you have to do is say, hey, we both watched this person, I've interacted with you in chat, we've played on a different thing together, whatever the case may be, if I can do it and you can do it, we should do it together. That would be fun. And when I'm actually streaming again, I would love to play with other people and stream that stuff together because it's so much more fun when you're playing with your friends, right? And I don't ever really want to become so. Hang on, I'll come back to that. I don't want to ever become so big that I can't interact with people. I understand shit about parasocialism and all that other shit. I've had whole conversations with people about it. Um, I struggle personally with it because I like friends. I like people. I want to interact with people as long as they don't get fucking weird. And when I say weird, I mean creepy and uncomfy. Like if they start saying shit, I'm gonna talk about that. If they start saying shit that I don't agree with or make me uncomfortable, then I'm out. I'm fucking gone. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about me making it awkward. I'm out of there. Um, as long as people are cool, as long as people are chill, I'll hang out, I'll play, I'll have fun. I enjoy that kind of shit. I'm willing to try anything once, even if it gets me in trouble. Um, yeah, there's another thing I wanted to ask, and I just remembered. Z, ask it, please, if you haven't already forgotten. I know how we do. Pew pew. Um, I had a thing happen on a game server the other day that I want to talk about now that I remember it. But I'll let you say your thing first. And there's an ad starting. Yippee! Question mark icon? Okay. I'll wait for you to respond. I'm sure it won't take 90 seconds, but if it does, DM on Discord. Okay, I will take a quick peek. Stand by. If you're catching the ads, you know what to do. Go take a drink of water. Go touch grass. Hang on, who is this? Are you familiar with this person? Hmm. Is this Alan and Bill the Duck, Alan? If you can hear me, if you haven't disappeared into the ads, let me check real quick. I don't see a redeem saying I disappeared into the ads, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen. I don't know who that person is. I am not familiar with that person. Um, I can hear you verbally respond. I can't hear you if you verbally responded. I don't know them. I can't use my keyboard because it's not hooked up. It's USB. I do not know that person. Welcome back from the ads. I've been mostly muttering about what the hell is going on. Um, if the Alan that you're mentioning is Alan and Bill the Duck Alan, and Alan doesn't know them, then I would nope them. I don't know them. They have not interacted with me, and they have not interacted with me in chat to my remembrance. They may have, but I don't recall them. And I haven't communicated with them long enough for me to remember them, so I don't know them. If you don't feel comfy talking to them, don't talk to them. You are not obligated to do so. If they're in the server and they're being chill, they can still be chill. But if they're being a creep or if they're only using it for their own gain, then you know what to do. Pew pew. Um, so getting back to the thought that entered my head. about creepy people or people who do weird shit who make me uncomfortable. Let's talk about that. I am on a Minecraft server that I play on, that I enjoy playing on, generally. It's a good time. It's a good place. Really awesome people. The community of people are from Lagundo. That's his server. It's leg.gg. You're not distracting, it's fine. Um, I really enjoy playing with the bulk of the people there. I don't always play directly with people, and I feel like that's kind of the vibe for the most part. People kind of come together, they do stuff together, they separate, they do their own thing, it kind of weaves back and forth. Some people are friendlier with others, they play more consistently with everybody. A lot of the people who've been playing on this server have been playing on this server for a few years now. Like it is on its quote unquote fifth season. Um, the seasons aren't necessarily individual years. Sometimes they've been in multiple years. Regardless, the people who are there pretty regularly and consistently, are there pretty much every day in some form or another. If they're not actively playing the game, they sometimes jump on the server chat, which is linked to Discord. There's an extension that links them together. So even people who aren't on the server playing at the time can still interact with chat. I have occasionally done that myself. I've seen other people who have jobs who are able to text from work, that sort of shit. Will occasionally jump in and say, hi, how's everybody doing? What's going on? Because everybody's kind of friendly. That's another thing I really like about that server. Generally speaking, everybody's pretty chill. That's great. It's always great when you find a community of people who have been curated in such a way that, generally speaking, everybody takes care of each other. Everybody is cool. Everybody follows the unspoken rules, and sometimes the actual spoken rules. There are some pretty obvious ones, like don't be a dick. That's not Lex's stuff. That's my stuff. That's Will Wheaton's favorite tagline is don't be a dick. Don't be a dick and everything's fine. Don't say shitty shit. Everything's fine. I got pulled into a silly little side quest. I had come over to a part of the map that has become a semi-mutual space. One of the other players on the server created a post box, like a post office. There's an in-game, like on server one, that acts as a server gift to players, where every like 24 hours of server time you get like a random item, and you also get in-game currency. So not diamonds, since we're talking specifically about Minecraft, not diamonds, but the server economy, which can be used to buy and sell things in the market spaces, etc. You can get enchants, you can get armor, you can get books and items and all kinds of fun shit by using the in-server currency. But the post office is not like a traditional post office. You can't send letters to other people. You can't send stuff to other people. So another player on the server created a place to do that. A post box, a post office. Not only did they create a post office, but they built a whole like intricate little town type thing around that post office. It doesn't get as much activity as the post office properly does, but it's still really incredible to just walk around the build and see all the cool things that this player made. Not just by themselves, but with other people too. I think their partner also plays on the server sometimes. I don't see them as often, but I do see them. But there's also other people that you kind of develop friendships with after a while, people who want to build with you and play with you. Did you hear they finally added a friends list thing for Java? Yeah, kind of, yeah. Um, Anyway, I was playing the other day and I was talking specifically about trying to support and promote and utilize the post office. 2 nights prior to that, I was talking with another person on the server. I jumped into voice chat, not expecting anybody to join me, just because I could. I had it open. I was playing, doing my shit. Another player came on. a player who I know, not intimately, but I've interacted with them, and who knows me similarly, and came in to just hang out and chat with me. We weren't building the same thing, we weren't doing the same thing. We ended up going to the same place together. They run a shop. It's got a gambling option. We love to gamble. And I I was given 2 free tokens to participate in the gamba, as it is colloquially called. Say that word 5 times fast. The colloquialism of gamba, short for gambling. Uh, an in-game creation using redstone and all kinds of fun shit. It's pretty nifty. It's pretty dope. They did a great job. Um, gave me 2 tokens. I participated. I got 2 really cool, quote unquote, epic slash special items because of my playing. Of course, then I spent actual in-game currency to buy 2 additional tokens, and they did not score well at all. It was actually really funny. um, and I was marveling about that with another on server store that has a gambling thing. I also got 2 tokens from the establishment to try, and with those 2 tokens, I failed miserably. I did not get anything good out of the Gampa. It's fine. It's all fun. It's all good. I'm not suffering for it. It's fake in-game currency. It's not real. I didn't spend actual money in my life wasted. So, but then we ended up doing something. I don't remember what happened. I think another player jumped in to chat, not voice chat, but server chat, and had said, "Hey, you want to check out this thing?" And I said, "Let me finish what I'm doing, and I'll be right there." So I did. I went, and they made a really cool build, and I looked at it, and I marveled it, and I complimented them, and then they went about their day. I think they even left the instant to go do something else. But since I was in the area, I was exploring around the space because that's what I do. I look at the thing and then I go look at other things since I'm already there. ADHD is a blessing, not a curse. And I noticed that um, the place they were there, the base in the environment, the terrain that they were in, had naturally generated passive mobs, specifically the ocelot, which I initially called a caracal because I forgot the fuck what it was for a second. The wild jungle cat, the ocelot. I won't go into any of that right now, but there was an ocelot there, and I freaked out, and I was like, I need it, I need it, I need it, I need it. I need it so bad, I need it. And I'm like, how the fuck am I going to get it back to my base? I have to travel with it. I have to have the thing so I can get it back. I have to get it back. How do I get it back? Ah! And Rex is listening to me. That's his name. That's their name, Rex. Rex is listening to me just yapping away, and he's like, where the heck are you? And I'm like, I'm over here. And I had them teleport to me because that's a server mod. You can teleport to people. You can teleport to places as long as they are named, as long as they are claimed. You can also randomly teleport, but there's like a cooldown on that. So I had Rex teleport to me, and as I'm yapping about the ocelot and how much I want to get the ocelot back to my base, um, I saw a parrot also fly by, and it was the parrot, one of the parrots that I didn't have, and I started to immediately be like, oh, because I have to collect all the things. That's the kind of player I am. I collect all the things. I have a very intentional use that I'm going to put this collecting all the things for. I plan to make a museum. I've been planning to make a museum since I started playing on the server. Ask me if I finished the build yet. Go ahead, ask me. You already know the answer, but go ahead and ask me. Have I done it? No, I haven't done it. Not even barely. I picked a location, insofar as somebody else insofar as somebody else invited me. Like I was saying, I wanted to be on an island that's surrounded by water on all sides. I thought that would be neat. I would enjoy doing that. There's a certain amount of isolation that comes with being on an island, but I had plans. I had things I wanted to do. I've started to enact some of those plans, One of the plans was to build like a seaport around the island so that people who are interested could build boats on my seaport. I wouldn't build the boats. I can and will build additional boats because I want to. But I wanted to make it a community project. I wanted to make it something where I would invite people to build on my space and we could interact and we could respond together. There would be no obligation, but it would be really cool if people did. So far, I have 3 boats. I will. I absolutely will, and I can. I'll even invite you. I can even get you on the server if you want to. That's up to you. Don't feel pressured, but I can. I can also just take screen caps because I don't know how badly the stream would work if I tried to stream it through Discord. Regardless, anyway, getting back on topic. I saw the parrots. I freaked out. I needed the parrot. I Another player asked the community chat for help, and I said I would help them, but I need to get. I'll explain that in a second. I'll I'll um I'll help them, but I need to do what I'm doing first. And they were willing to join me and help me do what I was doing. So they came to help me. And one of the things that I needed was seeds because the parrots, you have to tame them to get them to like you. You have to tame them with seeds. I didn't have any seeds. I'm running around trying to find seeds, and I'm worried that if I teleport away, I'm going to lose the item, lose the mob, lose the parrot because they'll despawn if you're not in the same chunk. And I was like, I can't leave the chunk. I need to stay in the chunk. I need this parrot. I need this parrot so bad. She's like, I'll go get the seeds. She leaves to go get the seeds. The night cycle starts, so mobs are coming out to attack me. I'm fully armored up. I'm fully weaponed up. I can handle it. It's not hard. However, I hadn't tamed the parrot yet, and the parrot got between me and the zombie, and I accidentally hit and killed the parrot. Oh, I was devastated. I was like, no, literally out loud yelled no. And I was so distressed about it. I killed the parrot. It was the parrot I hadn't gotten yet. It's really hard to get all certain mobs to spawn. Like, parrots are not exactly common necessarily, and they're even less common on a server with custom terrain. This custom terrain is dope as fuck, don't get me wrong. I love playing on this server. The terrain is fucking pretty in places. Like, it's so cool. But I can't expect to find certain mob generations. I haven't seen a goat yet. I want a goat so bad. I want 2 goats. I want a breeding pair. I want one of those breeding pair to be a screaming goat because that way I can get both types of goat horns if I wanted to do that. I know that another player has a goat horn farm and sells the goat horns in mass because I've been to their shop and I know they have them. So I just need to negotiate for one of their sets of regular and screaming goats and then get them to my fucking base. That's the challenge. We have to be on at the same time. I have to have permissions on their land to access anything on it, and then I have to transport the goats back to me. The servers, um, fuck, the servers Nether is accessed by everyone. So Nether portals, um, they are linked. They can be linked funny, and because they're linked funny, you might go into one portal and it's in this one location, but you step out of step back through that same portal, it won't be the place that you entered the portal from because multiple locations are linking to that specific portal. And I don't know how like the ranking of that is, like if it's only ever going to go to the last place that made the link to that portal or not. I think that's how that works. Maybe. I know that a lot of people like go through the extra steps to make sure that certain portals link and unlink. Nobody does that on the server at all. So my nose is, give me a second. I need to, I need to blow my nose really quick. Please forgive me for being gross. I'm going to mute myself so you don't have to hear me snuffle. Oof. Okay. I think that got most of it out. I really hope that all the walking up that's happening upstairs isn't being brought up on the mic because if it is, that sucks. Um. Anyway, Rex and I, and well, hang on. Coming back to the dead parrot. One of the mods on the server. It's a very simple mod. Is player head drop mod. People use that to create custom items and stuff. Essentially, the way to do that is to download a skin and then have another player uh, delete you, to put it kindly. And you will drop your head. So whatever that head is, it is a guaranteed drop when two players attack and they will always drop their head. So if you do it right, if you download skins, if you get the skins to be certain items, you have that item be your head, you have the head drop, boom, you have that item that you can then display and use as decorative pieces, as trophies, because some people just, keep other people's heads when they fight them PvP. Perfectly acceptable. I don't PvP because I'm terrible at PvP. I cannot PvP. I can just barely kill hostile mobs, let alone try and PvP. I tried PvP one time and I got my butt just packed, slapped around and kicked and knocked down a lot and I lost my head immediately. So, unfortunately, I'm explaining all of this for anybody who's never worked with custom heads before as a mod, as an option. Um, when you hit mobs don't always drop their heads. It is like there's a like a risk roll sort of situation. Roll if you roll a die, it's a 1 in 20 chance sort of situation that you'll get the head. The parrot dropped its head. Yeah. The parrot that I was trying so hard to get because it was one of the parrots I didn't have. The first time I had seen that parrot specifically, the first time, I accidentally kill it and it drops its head. This server hates me, and I am a monster. So Rex comes after I said that I killed the parrot, and Alice, who's the person who was helping me, also comes, and Alice was bringing me the seeds, and I said I killed, and she's like, I was gone for like less than a minute. What happened? I'm like, the zombie came and it jumped in front of me and saved my life, but at a cost. And I put the head on because I am that kind of terrible person. I put the head on. I'm like, now I just have this as a memory. Everybody's laughing. It's a good time. I'm a terrible actor. Anyway, um, Rex is like, well, what are you even gonna do with the parrot? If you catch it, it's not like you can take it back to base. Your base is like thousands and thousands of blocks away. And I'm like, listen, buddy, if you friend it, it teleports with you. Specifically, the tameable mods will teleport with you. The what's the word that's not passive mobs? There it is. The passive mobs won't teleport with you. So if you grab um a cow or a pig or a sheep or whatever, if it isn't becoming your friend, like a dog or a cat or a parrot, it won't teleport with you. Horses also don't teleport with you. You can tame them, but they still have their own mind. I think that's the difference between a pet mob and a passive mob. Um, the ocelots, for example, they will not teleport with you. The foxes will not teleport with you. The horses will not teleport with you. All of them act of their own mind. But cats and dogs and parrots will follow you around. They want to follow you around, even if you don't have their breeding food with you. So a parrot will teleport with you. All you have to do is wait for it to get on your shoulder and then you can teleport with it. I found out that's not even the case. They will teleport with you as long as they are in the same chunk as you. If you teleport away, they will follow you. And Rex says, I don't have any parrots. I want parrots. So we then spent the next 2, maybe 3 hours together in voice chat looking for parrots to complete my set of 5 and to get him additionally his own 5. And like I said before, they're not a super common mob. They don't generate the same way that cows and pigs and sheep do. Cows and pigs and sheep proliferate a Minecraft game and especially a server. But the harder to find mobs are not like that. So you have to go looking for them. And that's what we did for 2 to 3 hours. We were looking for parrots. And there was a time where Rex had 3, maybe 4 parrots following him. And for whatever reason, the two of us together had parrots at the same time. And for whatever reason, the server glitched and kicked us off. And initially we were like, that's weird. And then it happened again. So we sent a bug report to the server dev team. But it didn't happen after the second time. We just were careful about how long we stayed in a single place with a parrot on our shoulder. But ultimately what happened is Rex got all of his parrots. I got all of my parrots. We were done. But then we still wanted to goof around. We continued to goof around. We decided that we were going to start looking for the other animals that we wanted because we're both independently building our own menageries for our own projects. Rex has like a semi lore based building project that several people are in his team. They all work together. They all play together. I see a lot of their shenanigans in chat. I'm not always present for them. That's fine. I don't need to be present for every single thing. But for a moment there, me and Rex had a partnership that was built on parrots. And we're going to continue to build that partnership every time we see each other online because we both have a mission now. We founded a little spot in a cold biome which has rabbits, specifically the white slash albino rabbit and the white with black patches rabbit. Not the one that you can name that has a unique skin, but specifically just the black and white patched rabbit, white being the dominant color. We found those immediately. You have to name passive, not pet animals in order to keep them from despawning. I didn't have any name tags on me, so I had to zap away and get some name tags. And in the time that I was gone, Rex found a polar bear. And he's like, can you tame polar bears? And I'm like, technically, yes. They're another one of those passive mobs where it's like they'll be nice, but the problem with polar bears is that they're kind of right the line between passive and then hostile if there's a cub involved. So if you find a polar bear adult and a cub following it, the adult will immediately attack you without prompting. A regular polar bear will only attack you if you like attack it first or if you get a little too close. I've seen it kind of go both ways. Generally just leave polar bears alone. They're a less frequent spawning mob, but they only spawn in cold biomes. Rex found a polar bear. Boom, we brought it back with us. I gave it the name Snowman McFreezy. Rex thought that was amazing and kept it, so I'm proud of that. He initially pronounced it like MC Breezy, like a performer who does me. I can't remember what the fuck the MC actually stands for. Um, but I was like, no, McFreezy, like the Irish, McFreezy. He's like, oh, all right. So it's Snowman McFreezy, the polar bear. We still need to get another adult polar bear. If we try to bring a baby back, it'll immediately get hostile and attack anybody. But one of the other things that we were trying to get in the cold biome was a white fox because they're a very specific variant and they're also not super common either. So if we can get a breeding pair, which means 4 total, because we each want to get a breeding pair of white foxes, we got to look for them. And they only come in certain cold biomes. They're not in all cold biomes. You have to find the specific biomes that they're in. So we had to look around to try and find it. And that's what we were doing until Rex had to go. Rex had made a prior engagement with his brother and he had to go. I was like, dang it! But that was fine too because it was super fucking late. I should have been asleep hours before. I wasn't. Anyway, so One of the things that I talked about with Rex while I was working, while we were collectively hunting parrots, was that I wanted to include a buy one get one free sort of situation at my shop. But I have a small plot shop. Rex has three large fucking shop plots. The bastard. And that's why he's able to do a huge ass Gamba machine and has the building chops and the items to spare in order to do that. Night, buddy. Have a good sleep. Go enjoy those honk shoes. Make sure to take some good rest and take your meds. Take your meds with some water. It's good stuff. I'll see you next time. I was talking with Rex about getting the BOGO set up. I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. We kind of spitballed back and forth, but I did mention if I couldn't get the redstone part to work in the limited space that I have, and how I would do that, that I would incorporate the post box offices at the other player's post office. Be like, hey, if you buy an item, if you buy so many of that item, I will give you a stack of that item within reason. Like I can't do a stack of pottery sherds. That's too fucking hard. I can't do that. I can do one pottery sherd. If you buy one pottery sherd, I can give you another separate but equal pottery sherd. That's all that I have in stock. But how was I going to do that? I was going to use the post office. If I couldn't use a redstone contraption to do it, I was going to use the post office. And that helped kind of had the double effect. It would mean that the player who runs the post office is able to get more people to do it. And ultimately the whole server could leave gifts or leave letters or whatever the case may be. Some people have done some good shit with the post office, and I'll talk about that later. Um, which Rex thought was a great idea. And I was like, yippee, because I was so proud that I had a good idea. And we also talked about what to do with the parrots, because as part of the Gamba at Rex's shop, there's a music disc that plays as part of the redstone contraption. You throw in an item, the music starts, the Gamba starts, it's a great time. Parrots and allays both interact with music. So if you have a parrot, it dances. If you have an allay, it kind of also dances. It does like this little spinny, dancey dance thing in the air. And if you have a Jesus Christ, my nose. If you have an amethyst shard, that's how you breed an allay. They are self-replicating, basically. You give it a shard, it makes another allay. How awesome. Cool. Quickly, just tons of allays. But so the allay and the parrot, as long as you have amethyst shards, will dance and interact with music. The allays will also do a thing if you have a jukebox and or not a jukebox, but maybe it is the jukebox. The note block. If you hit the note block and they have an item, they will bring it to the note block. So they can kind of be free range if you do that. But in order to get an allay to lock to you, you have to get them an item, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. So he would have to attach a lead to something like a post or something in order to keep them there. But if you step on the thing, if they hear the music, they'll do their little dances. And I was like, you should get parrots. Welcome back from the ads. You didn't miss much. If you get parrots and leash them to a post, every time the music comes on, they'll dance. And he's like, oh my God, that's a great idea. So that's why he got multiple parrots. And they didn't necessarily need to be each of the 5 colorant variations that I wanted. I specifically wanted all 5. And he's like, but you can breed them, right? You can breed them. You just have to have the seeds. I'm like, no, unfortunately, the parrots cannot be bred. And he's like, wait, no, that can't be right. I swear they've always been able to be bred. I'm like, no, buddy, it's only the chickens that will breed if you give them seeds. The parrots do not breed. They don't have nests. They don't produce eggs the way that chickens do. Chickens produce eggs. You can breed the chickens and you can also throw the eggs, and hopefully one out of however many throws will produce a chicken. Don't question it. It's Minecraft logic. Um, so he's bummed. He's like, damn it, I guess I have to get all the 5 parrots now. That's part of the reason that we were hunting parrots together. So that was fun. And the next day um, I was talking with somebody specifically about the boat at my dock and saying how I needed them to work on it. And they were like, oh, okay. And they came over and they invited a couple other people to come over. And that became a whole thing. Somebody, I don't know who, somebody stole my conduit. A conduit is an in-game mechanic item that makes it so that you can breathe and walk around underwater, and the you get night vision, which makes the water not murky, it's clear. That's what a night potion can also do. And um, it basically and it also makes it so that hostile mobs don't come within a certain radius, whether or not it's a full active conduit or it's just a tiny one. It works within a certain radius from the item. I had a full one. Somebody fucking stole my conduit. One of the ingredients to make the conduit is the heart of the sea, which you can only find if you find treasure chests, which can only be found in shipwrecks, which are a rare structure spawn that happen in the world. It's not super rare, but it definitely is something you have to actively look for. And because the server runs on um, custom generation, because of that, treasure maps don't work. So if you find your treasure map, you kind of have to look in the area and hope that you find it. Because the item itself in the chest does spawn, but it's significantly harder to get. And because of that, you have to buy the Heart of the Sea from the in-game vendors, the NPC vendors. They're just really fucking hard to find. And because they're so fucking hard to find, their worth in-game the in-server currency worth for them is steep. It's like 50K. That's a lot. It's a lot to get. But I did have enough to get one. And I did. And I set it up and I made it the full size one. Somebody fucking stole it off of my land. To be fair, I did not claim that specific section. So it wasn't locked to me. And if you claim a section of a chunk of land with the game mechanics, it makes it so that people can't steal from you unless they're trusted on your land. And it prevents like random people from coming through and killing your livestock, trampling your crops, breaking your surroundings, griefing your surroundings, that kind of stuff. Unless you trust them, and if they do that after you trust them, either they're a jerk or they're playing a prank on you, and it's a mutual thing. Like, you wouldn't prank somebody who wasn't prepared to be pranked. That's griefing. That's not cool. I didn't claim the chunk that my conduit was in, but it is a mutually agreed upon unspoken rule of the server that if you find a structure or an item that shouldn't be there, leave it alone. It's not yours. Don't touch it. It's not yours. Don't take it. Don't move it. Don't do anything like that. Leave it alone. It's not yours. Some people who were players on the server but have since left, or they got too busy, or whatever the case may be, they had maybe a land claim, but after so much inactivity, the land claim eventually zeroes out. And the structure is still there, but the claim on the land isn't. And sometimes when you're just traveling around, you might find a structure that is clearly not a game-generated structure and not a custom terrain-generated structure. And you know, oh, this probably used to belong to somebody. But you don't go in there and you take stuff and break stuff. You leave it the fuck alone. It's not yours. Let it exist as a lure to the server, just leave it the fuck alone. Some people will go out randomly and make shit. There was a person who nobody knows who it was because nobody claims to be the one who did it. There was a person who was going around and building obelisks all over the place. Pretty close to other people's lands, like on the outskirts, like just outside the land claim, and not claiming the chunk themselves, just building it and living it there. And these obelisks were made with obsidian, which is a pain in the ass to mine. Even with good mining equipment with custom enchants on it, it still takes a fucking age to break obsidian. And we all know this as players of the game. We all know. I should probably change my fucking stream content to fucking Minecraft. But people are gonna be they're gonna see that I'm not actually playing and they're gonna be like, fuck that person. Anyway, somebody stole my fucking conduit. I didn't notice right away. I thought it happened while I was there and these other three people were there, and I immediately started to panic and be like, who fucking stole my conduit? I didn't say fucking, but I thought it. It's a family friendly server. You're not supposed to swear. But in my head, I said fucking, and I said it out loud too, with my whole chest because I was pissed. They're not cheap. I had a fully functional one. Somebody fucking made off with it. I was mad. I asked all the people. They're like, I didn't take it. I didn't take it. I'm like, I know two of these people for playing with them pretty often, interacting with them pretty often. And I believe they wouldn't have stolen it because I trust them to some degree to be good people who don't steal shit. This additional third person I was less familiar with, and I believe, I speculate, I infer that they are a younger person who maybe doesn't know that they're not supposed to do shit like that and was feeling guilty and maybe lying to me about having my conduit. I made these assumptions. I shouldn't have made them. That was not kind of me or mature of me to do. But I panicked and I started blocking them, banning them from all of my areas. And I also immediately claimed the space around my conduit to make sure it didn't happen again. But I also submitted a report about it. I said, hey, somebody stole my conduit. I'm pretty sure it was this person because they're the only person who's been in this area that I'm aware of who could have taken it. The mod and dev team looked into it. Turns out I was wrong. It was somebody else who took it, and it happened 2 or so many days ago. Obviously, I'm never going to know who it was. Obviously, the team is going to handle it. Obviously, I've made the land claim so that it doesn't happen again because I sure as hell who don't know who the fuck did it, and unless I trust somebody on that specific area, they can't break it and take it. That doesn't make me less mad about it. I'm still fucking mad. I'm never going to know who took it unless they openly come to me and tell me, hey, I took it. I'm sorry. I doubt that's going to happen. Dev team and the mod team are going to handle it. It's no longer in my hands and I need to get over it. That's really hard. I don't like just getting over things. I like repercussions and like retribution, not necessarily punishment. I think that punishment is not functional as a tool. When you're teaching people how to be kind and responsible, you don't punish them for doing something wrong as a way to motivate them to do better so they don't keep having the punishment. That is a negative association. It is something that is a fucking outdated, typical thing to do, and you need to stop fucking doing it. In real life and online, stop punishing people for shit. There's very little reason to punish anybody for anything. I really genuinely believe that. If it comes to a situation where it's like I can quote unquote punish them or I can get away and never let that happen to me again, always choose the latter. Take yourself out of the equation. Simple as that. You have control over yourself. Do that. If you can't get retribution or recompensation or whatever the hell for somebody doing something wrong, you can at least make it so that that can't happen to you anymore by removing yourself from the situation or fixing the situation so it doesn't fucking happen again. Negative association isn't actually going to fix a fucking thing. It's going to cause guilt and shame, which are not helpful or useful for anything. Period. So, I, that same day, um, that same player, he had to sign off for some reason or another. I was like, you need to finish your fucking boat. Not using the actual word fucking. And he said, you said you were gonna make the bottom. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I started to work on it. Um, and then another player came on and I said, hey, can you TP to me so that I can give you this thing? Since you don't have a post box. Or no, I said, hey, you're on, can I give you this thing? They were like, I'm kind of doing something. And I said, okay, I'll just take it to your post box. And then I took my thing to the post box and I left it there. And I said, hey, you still have something else in your post box from somebody else. You should come and get it. And he's like, oh, okay. Comes and gets it. Comes and gets my thing too. The thing I brought him. Okay, since the situation with the conduit was figured out, the mod dev team gave me a new conduit to make up for the fact that my conduit had been stolen. But in the meantime, as I was just expressing my distress on the server, bunch of people, because they're all fucking kind people on that fucking server, genuinely, most of them are very kind and considerate and helpful. Immediately bought me stuff to make another conduit. It's not cheap to make. And I was like, oh shit, I can't just keep this and also have another one. That would not be fair or kind. And I said, hey, come here. I need to give this back to you. And they're like, I'm busy. And I said, okay, I'll just take it to your mailbox. So that's what I did. And the time that I was still there, he went and picked it up. I'm like, you fucker. You just TP'd to me and I could have given it to you. But at the same time that this was happening, the player who signed off earlier, whose boat I was working on, had put a message in chat being like, "Everybody go self-care, drink some water, touch some grass, do it." And I was like, "No, you can't make me. You'll have to find me first." And this other player was like, "Me too." And then he threw an invisibility potion on both. So we were hiding from this player who wasn't even online, but we were running with the bit and it was a great bit. It was very silly. It was a very silly bit. And we kept going with it and then ultimately what ended up happening, which is it was just so great. What ended up happening was we started playing hide and seek. Completely unprompted. We started playing hide and seek. And at one point, I was the seeker, and the other player was a hider. And they were really good at hiding. And I couldn't find them, and it was hard. And when I finally did find them, there's an in-game mechanic where you can mount the person. So I mounted them, and that was a whole thing. They were invisible. I was still invisible. Both eventually the potion wore off, and we were just two weirdos running through the environment. And the player kept bringing me under like overpasses where it made it because I was on top of them. Um, it hit my hitbox and it caused me damage. So in the chat, I'm like, ow, ow, and he's like, mind your head. I'm like, I can't. And that kind of goofy shit. We were just going for it. We were just being silly. We were just being goofy. It was a fun time. Other people saw us being silly and goofy and wanted to join in the shenanigans. And we ended up building an entire troop of like 5 or 6 players who are all playing hide and seek together. It was very unprompted. It was very silly. We were having a great time. And then another player joined the group, joined the party, and they're a streamer. I'm not going to share their name. I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to share their server or their channel. I'm just going to leave it ambiguous. Um, Player talked about streaming everything and needed a minute to set up the stream. Everybody's impatient, everybody's being goofy. There's no PvP on the land, so but you can still use the weapons and stuff. So people were like flashing their swords at each other. People were using the new spear and jousting at each other and launching themselves across each other like kebab style back and forth and shit. Impatiently, patiently waiting for this person to start up the stream. I was still in voice chat. Um, Person that I initially started playing hide and go seek in was also in the voice chat but muted, so they could hear me, but they weren't using voice chat to respond to me. They were responding in server chat text. Perfectly fine. I don't care. Um, but the other person who's streaming joined the chat, and apparently they were frustrated because OBS wasn't working for them, and they were having a hard time. And then when they did get OBS started, they were having trouble with their audio layers. Everything was picking up at the thing that they wanted to pick up, which was the game sounds. And maybe also the voice chat. I'm not 100% certain. But I was frustrated, or they were frustrated, with the fact that everything wasn't working correctly. Understandable. Once again, I get it. I just accidentally killed my parrot the day before. I was also frustrated. It's fine. The thing that wasn't fine was that they started using slurs in the voice chat. Specifically a disability-related slur. If you know it, you know it. I don't have to say it. I'm not going to say it. I know that makes me suck a little bit because now I'm making you think it, and that sucks, but you get the idea. They used a slur. I was not happy about it. I told them in voice chat, politely, kindly, gently, playfully even, that we don't use that word. That's a bad word. We are on a server where that kind of language is not tolerated. I don't care if it's in voice chat and it's not in text on the server. You should not be saying that kind of stuff. It's not cool. Don't do it. Well, I'm streaming it on my server or on my Twitch channel. It's not actually a channel that's associated with the server, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't care. People are going to see you're playing, and if you commented that you play on this server, they're going to expect that it's you saying this stuff, either in chat or in voice chat or on your stream. It doesn't matter. You're doing a naughty thing, buddy. Don't do it. You need to stop. They doubled down and refused to stop, and then tried to say, oh, well, I use this term to define myself. Other people would use it to apply to me. I'm trying to reclaim some bullshit like that. And I wasn't going to argue anymore at that point. I'm fucking out. And I said as much. I said, okay, I'm out. I disconnected from chat. Not only did I disconnect from chat, I immediately teleported away. It was enough to get people to ask questions about what was going on. What happened? Where'd you go? Why'd you leave? I thought we were playing this game together. I thought we were having a good time. I thought it was fun. I'm like, I don't want to play with people who say slurs. And they're like, who said slurs? And this person, admitted to it, said I did. And they're like, we didn't see any slurs. I'm like, yeah, it's because he said it in voice chat. Not in on-game voice chat. Not in the VC simple voice chat add mod thing. And I don't know if those voice chats are recorded or not, if they're being kept track of or not. It's not my business if they are or aren't. I'm not on the mod team. I'm not on the dev team. I don't run the server as a staff member. I am just another player who plays on the server. Somebody was in the voice chat on the Discord. They said a slur. I did not stand for it. I took myself out of the equation. I said what I needed to say to express my discomfort, and then I left. I told everybody in chat. I said, I'm not going to put up with that shit. I'm fucking gone. I didn't say fucking because we're not supposed to swear on that server. This is my Twitch. I'm not streaming it. I'm not swearing. I did mention what server it was, but that's about it. They whispered to me apologizing. They said it in a way that did not feel to me like an authentic apology. They essentially said, in a paraphrase, that they forgot that not everybody is so loose with their language. Their term for it was cold-hearted, which I don't think is even remotely relevant, other than that you're putting a judgment on it. It's a slur. You should feel bad for using a slur. You don't have to make it like, oh, I'm a terrible person and that's fine, but I am sorry that I offended you. That you're missing the point. You're missing the point. It's not just about using the slur. It's not just about offending me. It's about being a shitty person. That's a shitty person thing to do. Don't fucking do that. And I said, yeah, okay, I appreciate your apology, but I'm not playing with you. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking play with you, dude. I'm not interested in playing with somebody who behaves that way. That's it. Period. But I had also sent a private message to somebody who was part of the group who knows this person. And I said, sigh, fucking children. Because this person I'm pretty sure is not a children. I could be wrong. I'm making assumptions, and I shouldn't be asking people's age. It doesn't matter. We're all supposed to behave. You know, there are rules that we all agreed to when we played on the server to behave in a way, and that includes not using fucking slurs associated directly to the fucking server. Don't do it. So I messaged this player. I said the comment about Psy and children. After the fact, I guess he had spoken with this player, and he said, I was told he apologized to you. Can't you just let it slide this one time? And I said, no, I won't do that. I don't care how old or young he is. I don't care about what his circumstances are. He doubled down. He said things that made it like he was martyring himself, or that I should just be okay that he apologized for offending me. It did not give the impression of changed behavior, improved behavior. And I don't have to put up with that. Period, full stop, that's the end. But I also let the other player who was talking to me know, hey, I appreciate you trying to facilitate this. You did a good thing. I don't appreciate when people just throw around language like it has no meaning. Everything has meaning. Spoken or unspoken. You need to be responsible for the meaning that you are conveying. You can't be responsible for how people will interpret that meaning or anything like that. But you should know the repercussions of the things that you do. That's how I feel about that. And I'm not going to change. That is a core belief for me. I'm not going to change that for anybody. I'm not going to be like, hey, I'll let it slide this one time. If a person is ignorant, that's a different story. Like, if you need to be the one to say, hey, and that's what I did, I said, hey, don't do that. I helped a person try not to be ignorant. Rather than apologize, change the behavior, move on, they doubled down and continued to be ignorant. No, continued to be an asshole. It wasn't ignorance anymore. He was just choosing to be an asshole. Okay, you can be an asshole over there. I don't have to associate with that. Period, full stop. I'm done. I'm not going to put up with that. And I'm not going to accept somebody else apologizing on your behalf. It's not their responsibility to apologize for you. It's your job to apologize for your shitty behavior. I shouldn't have to fucking spell it out for you, guy. Period. Just like I'm saying period a lot. I'm over relying on that to prove my point. You get the idea. That was the last interaction I had, and that was like yesterday. Yesterday night. I've been really hesitant to get back on the server since that happened. I'm going to. But I wasn't sure I was going to do it today. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do it tomorrow. I have a shorter shift tomorrow at the other job. I run a 10 to 6 at the other job tomorrow. So I'll be able to come on and play. I don't have anything I'm doing Saturday. Saturday is my day off from both jobs. And then Sunday I have a 12-hour shift. So I might play on Friday and into Saturday within reason. I need to be better about my sleep schedule. I know that. I don't know if I don't know for certain if I'm going to go back and play tonight or tomorrow or tonight even. I do have to get up and go to work tomorrow at 10, but I need 8 hours of sleep. So if I get up at 9, that's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can stay up for another hour if I wanted to. I don't know if I want to or not yet. Hmm. But it's disappointing. I'm disappointed. And I'm not sure I want to go and play if this player is on. I might just, if I see them on, I might just bail. I don't know if they're going to be respectful enough to leave me the fuck alone and not keep needling me. Maybe, in a couple days I might be willing to give it another shot. People change. Maybe they figure out that they really were fucking wrong. I understand that sometimes spicy people have difficulty accepting criticism and that sometimes there's also rejection um what's the term? Rejection rejection sensitivity issues. I understand all that stuff. Logically, it makes sense. I understand. I have had a lot of these symptomatic things happen without really having the language to describe them or to associate them with what's going on with me. I know a lot of younger people, especially people who haven't had full real diagnoses, because there's nothing wrong necessarily with self-diagnosis, as long as you don't use it as an excuse and that you handle it in your own fucking way. I get that. I do. Really, truly, I do. Maybe he self-corrects, but I don't want to deal with his bullshit if he's going to continue to behave the way that he is. If he wants to perform that way with his audience, that's his fucking business. I don't give a single shit. I care that it happened in front of me, that I expressed discomfort, and they continue to do it. I didn't make a spectacle out of it. I had had something like that happen once before. I got criticized. No, excuse me. It's not criticized. It was critiqued. It was correction done to me. I was told, that's not cool. Don't do it like that. You can be upset, um, but you need to let a moderator handle it. In this situation, it wasn't something that could be trackable by moderator, so I can't exactly report it. He could very well say that I'm talking shit, so I just dealt with it the best that I could. But I didn't make a spectacle. That's the most important thing. I didn't make it a big dramatic bullshit thing out loud in any other way other than just to remove myself from the situation and to keep it vague so as to not cause any further discourse, so as not to cause any additional problems. Lots of people were disappointed that I stopped. The hide and seek game pretty much fizzled out as soon as I was gone. Um, do I feel bad about that? A little bit. I do. Admittedly feel a little bad about it. Because I decided I was done because my actions affected the group and everybody stopped playing because of me. And essentially this additional person. I'm sure everybody will get over it. It's okay. Mistakes happen. I get that too. I made a mistake not too long ago. I started to adjust a person's build without communicating with them when they weren't online. They came online, they saw what I was doing, they were upset. I immediately course corrected. I immediately tried to make it right. I hope that I did. I let them know I'd be happy to help them with any additional things they wanted to do. In the moment, they did not want to talk to me anymore. In the moment, they did not want any additional help from me. I did not 100% respect their wishes. I went and quickly undid everything that I did without further communication with them. They saw what I was doing. They did not interrupt me. They did not tell me to stop. I feel bad for not checking in to make sure that what I was doing, even then to course correct, was acceptable behavior with them. But as soon as I was done, I let them know that I was done and that I was going to go away and that I was very sorry because somebody had griefed one of my projects, and I understand how frustrating and upsetting that can be. And I recognize that, and I take responsibility for my choices, and I hope they can forgive me, and then I fucked off. Because that was literally the only thing I could do at that point. I didn't want to cause any further stress. All right. I have been yapping for exactly 2 hours. I haven't done anything else. It's almost midnight local time for me. I'm kind of tired. I would like to play a little bit before going to bed. It would be nice. I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed talking. I've had some chat interaction. That was nice. I think it's time for me to go do something else. I'm going to check and see who's live, and then we are going to raid out. I haven't had any interaction with anybody on YouTube, which is fine. I'm not upset about it. And I don't really know how to raid out through YouTube, unfortunately. Or I would. I might look into that later. I'm a little tired now, admittedly. That was a lot. That was a lot of stuff to talk about. Some of it was pretty fucking emotional. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you're watching the VOD after the fact, thank you for interacting with my content. I really appreciate you. I've had a few followers while I was off. And I want to take a quick second to thank them for following me. Sexy Sloth. This is always fun to do out loud. Sexy Sloth followed me. So did Ill-Fated Potato, KB_923, Red Panda Party 3, and even further back, about 24 days back, was Creative Garden, spelt with a Y for garden. I wasn't actively streaming, I don't think, 24 days ago. I'm pretty sure they followed me because we interacted in chat with another person's stream. But if they came back and they watched my VOD after the fact and they hadn't heard me thank them or talk about them, hello, thank you for following me. I hope you'll tune in one of these days. And that's okay if you don't either. Anyway, who we raiding? Let me see. Let's see. I've got a couple people on that I like to follow. I feel inclined to drop in on Legs and his group since I've been talking about his server for most of this chat. So I'm gonna see if I can. I don't exactly see anybody actively in chat right now, but that doesn't mean there aren't people lurking and that are not marked as being here via the lovely little who's active in chat thing up in my top corner. So I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna drop in. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I'll be streaming again pretty damn soon. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening. Make sure that you take your meds. Make sure you drink some water. Make sure you go and experience some outside or some people that you love being around. And of course, if you have a furry friend, furry baby, a scaly baby, a feathered baby, make sure that you give them a big hug and kiss from me. I hope I see you again soon. Alrighty. Bye-bye for now.